Figures that talk. On that wonderful first day of school, Dookie was up before sunrise. She scrubbed and scrubbed her face and hands, smoothed down her hair, and arranged her new sari that was just for school. Mo was doing the morning chores when Dookie came around the corner of the house. "See, do I look good enough to go to school?" asked the girl. "Just like a princess," said Big Mo. "But aren't you a little early?" "I couldn't wait," exclaimed Dookie. "I can't sleep when I'm so happy." "I can see the sparkle in your eyes," said Mo. "I'll be in to get breakfast soon." "I am hungry too." But Dookie was so excited that she could hardly eat her rice. When she heard the drums at the mission, her eyes were wide in eagerness. Mo picked up the small packet and the sleeping Suki. The mission lady welcomed them with a smile at the door of the schoolhouse. She held out her hands for the tiny one, and Mo placed Suki in her arms. "One of the Indian nurses has offered to care for the baby during the school hours," said the mission lady. "In that way, Dookie will be free to do her schoolwork. I think it will be a favor to let the nurse care for Suki, for she lost her own baby when it was very tiny. She will be very tender and devoted." Mo went to get his instructions for work from the mission doctor. He paused to look back and wave at Dookie as she joined Luana and the other children entering the schoolroom. When the drums beat again, Luana led Dookie by the hand to one of the small benches. "We will sit here for the first part," exclaimed Luana. "After we sing and pray and have our story, we will sit at those tables and make magic figures that talk." Dookie listened attentively to the mission lady as she told the story. Suddenly she realized that the lady was no longer holding the baby. "Where is Suki? Is she all right?" asked the girl. "Are you sure that the lady is a good play mother?" The mission lady paused in the story to reassure Dookie that the baby could not be in better hands. "Before we go to class, I will take you to see her." She patted Dookie gently on the arm. "It is as you say," said Dookie meekly. But Dookie was worried, for everything was new and strange. What if Suki cried? What if the play mother was cross? Where was Big Mo? What was he doing? She knew he was working, but he seemed to be so far away. Suddenly big tears came into her eyes. The mission lady was singing a song about Jesus. Luana leaned over and whispered, "I told you, when she sings it makes you so happy that you feel like crying." But that was not why Dookie was crying. She couldn't explain it, even to herself. After the songs and prayer, there was a short recess. The boys and girls went outside to play until the drums beat. At this time, the mission lady took Dookie to the room where the laundry was folded and put on the shelves. "Here she is," said the mission lady. "See, the tiny one is fast asleep in the laundry basket. Doesn't she look peaceful and sweet? Do you suppose she is having pleasant dreams?" Dookie glanced at Suki and then at the lady who was folding towels at the long table. "Is she the play mother?" whispered Dookie. "Yes," said the mission lady. "She doesn't look like a cross mother." "Oh, no," said the mission lady. "Risa is sweet and kind. She will be good to little Suki." "I had a mother once," said Dookie. "Her name was Risa, too. Big Mo told me all about her. She was not a cross mother. I think she was kind and sweet." "I am sure she was," agreed the mission lady. Then she said, "Risa, come and meet Dookie, the baby's sister. She was a bit anxious to see that you are a good mother." Risa stood looking at the child before her. How she longed to take her in her arms and tell her the secret. But perhaps it would be better to wait. Some day, she knew not when or how, God would answer her prayers for the child. Perhaps she could satisfy her deep longing by caring for the tiny one in the basket. "Thank you," said Dookie, "for being a good play mother." Then, as the mission lady and the girl left the laundry room, the drum called the children back to school. There in the yard stood Big Mo, looking at the group of boys and girls. "Here I am," called Dookie. A proud smile shone on the man's face when he saw his daughter. A happy smile formed on Dookie's face as she waved back. He had been near the school all the time, and Suki was asleep, and Risa was taking good care of her. It was a happy world after all. Dookie decided as she took her place at the table to learn to make magic figures that talked. That evening after supper, Mo and Dookie sat on the step of the home to watch the moon come up. Dookie was holding Suki and telling her all about school. Mo listened with deep interest to the smallest detail. "Then we had stories and songs with our fingers," continued Dookie. "When I learn to do them better, I will sing them to you, little Suki." Then I went to Nita's class. She is a good storyteller, too. We took our magic sticks and made marks at our messages. Some marks say, "Jesus loves Dookie." And when you make them backwards, they say, "Dookie loves Jesus." Little Suki did not make any comment, but she looked up into Dookie's face as though she were trying to understand. "Now, Big Mo," said Dookie, "tell us what you did today." Mo leaned back against the side of the door. "I have the most wonderful work in the whole world," he began. "With these strong hands, I help people who are in need. While you were in school, I did many things for the kind doctor." "Tell us what you did," begged Dookie. "The doctor sent me with Tim and Orlo to bring a man to the hospital who had a broken hip. He was a big man, and the boys needed me to help lift him. Then there was a woman who was burned. We brought her to the hospital to be treated." "Were her burns bad?" asked Dookie. "Quite bad, but the doctor has magic for the burns, too. She will soon be all right, I am sure." "Then what did you do?" "I went alone to bring in an old grandmother with sore eyes." "Dookie, how thankful we should be that we can see." "But I, too, have magic, my little one. I will get it and show it to you." Mo went into the house, took something from a shelf, and handed it to Dookie. It was long and round, and it had a shiny button on one side. On one end there was a round glass that sparkled in the moonlight. "What is it?" asked Dookie, turning it over in her hands. "It's a magic stick," said Mo. "The doctor gave it to me to use in my work at night. Push the button on the side." Dookie pushed it, and the light filled the circle of the glass. "Oh," said Dookie, nearly dropping the object on Suki. "It surprised me. What is it?" "It's a magic light," said Mo. "It will help me find my way when the moon is not shining." The doctor called it a flashlight, for it is ready to turn on whenever I need it. "It is bright," said Dookie, pushing the little button up and down. "But now it is time for us to put it away and go to bed," said Mo. "Morning will come soon. I will get a warm bottle of milk for Suki. She will sleep well after this busy day." But she slept most of the time in a nice basket in the laundry room. The lady who takes care of her is a good play mother. And Big Mo, her name is Risa, just like my mother. "Risa?" echoed Mo. "She is good to Suki, even if she does have a sad face. The mission lady said that she would not be a cross mother, so I think Suki is safe." "Of course," said Mo. Then he mused. "I wonder what became of the other one." "The other what?" asked Dookie. The other Risa. If I could know where she went, I would like to talk to her about the God in heaven who loves all of his children." "Do you mean the Risa that it was my mother?" "Yes," said Mo. "You see, the charm doctor had her so under his evil power that she was confused. Perhaps she would be even more afraid of me now that I am a Christian." "We could pray for her," said Dookie simply. "The mission lady said that God answers prayers. Sometimes he says yes, and sometimes he says no, and sometimes he says wait a while. But we must believe that he gives us the best answers for our needs. We will pray for my mother, wherever she is, won't we, Big Mo?" "Of course we will, my precious one." After the simple prayer, Dookie went to her little room and lay down on her mat. Many strange thoughts about the busy day raced through her mind before she fell asleep.